Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is great. Thank you so much. Let's see what this wonderful game has in store. Oh god, I hate this already. Pitch black. Ah, goodness, the first thing they gave us was a light switch. Appreciate it, pal. Heart. And I'm sure we all remember. Oh man, got some Drano in a can. 2 cans of it. 2 Drano cans. Why do you have cans of Drano in your fridge? Are you drinking this? My man. These are cute. Wonder what that says. Alright, now that I'm lulled into a false sense of security, it's probably about time to get into this. I wish I could pull that curtain closed. Anyways, my dirty little secrets. Read to move on. Right. The last human on Earth was sitting alone in a room. There came a knock on the door. Don't you knock. I better not be this person. Okay. We're good so far. No knock. Alright. I've never cared for keeping a diary, but now seems to be a good time to start keeping one. Why? Because after all these years, I just can't forget about what used to be the light of my life. I know. Overdramatic much? Knowing Brian Colmer as much as I did is bound to leave that big chunk of residue. Stop that. Anyways, let's just say this diary is what's left of our relationship. That's sad. 3 years. No. 3 years have passed, and the world around me is still the same. Well, except for me. I look like a mummified corpse. What would B say if he saw me again? B left Rosen Peak the moment he graduated high school to go to a fancy college of his dreams. Since then, I could only rely on my memories of him to keep going. I wonder if it was the same for him too. I see the save icon, and that makes me nervous. When you love someone, his whole existence just gets etched into your brain, so no matter how much B changes, I will always know it's him. But will B do the same for me? I know B liked me a lot too, but he was not the most likely person to remember stuff. Considering how long 3 years felt for me, it's possible he did forget about me. Or am I giving him too little credit? So here comes the big question. Oh boy. Will he remember me? And here comes a reminder, if I'm ever hanging out with you and you whip a Ouija board out, we're done. We're done. Peace. Have fun with that. You and your demons can stay away from me forever. Goodbye. I don't want it. I just don't want it. I will piece the out of there so fast. Also, these drawings are just... I'm not a fan. Alright, we're gonna say yes. Who am I kidding? It's B we're talking about. We didn't have the most perfect relationship, but he won't just dump his memory of me down the toilet or something. He's too much of a nice guy for that. And don't forget, cute. I just hope our time together was meaningful enough to him. Enough to make him cherish even the darkest ones. What does that mean? Speaking of cherishable memories, I wonder what happened to Joe's Diner. Used to be my favorite place naturally because it was B's favorite place to begin with. If there were 2 good things that were too good for Rosen Peak, it would be Brian and Joe's Diner. Home of the best pancakes in the world, Brian Colmer. 5 stars! Ah, cute. I'm seeing that same screen again. Things were so much easier back then. You could just go, hey. And I would just be like, hey. Nothing but hanging out after that, with some occasional visit to Colton Hill. We had such a good thing going. Will you remember my voice? Will you say hey to me again? Did time already ruin our moments? Hello? Hi there, this is GarbageCatGaming. Are you a paranormal entity? Why are you heavy breathing into my phone? Press 1 if you'd like to speak to a human. I guess they didn't want to speak to a human. Or they hit the wrong button. Maybe they'll call back. Who knows? Can I call them back? Battery's dead. Well, the battery's dead. I was just using it. Anyways. I just wanted to say hello every time I called him. But what I want to do and can... What? Man, this game has just got me on edge. Okay, but what I want to do and can do are two different things, as always. Just enjoying B's presence on the other side of the phone was satisfying too, in a way, though. Hey. I imagined him eagerly waiting to hear something other than my breath. Hi. Hate that. Wish I could sneak into people's minds. This game. Stop that. Oh, okay, I wanted to sit down first, but that's fine. August 21st, 2006. That as a debut outfit? I admire your confidence, Sam. And with that, my whole high school years were probably over. Let me assure you, that's not how any of this works. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. First day of new school, and the new girl in town got classified as undesirable by what seems to be the queen of Wayride Academy. I spent last night telling myself, confidence, Sam, confidence. But looks like I should have spent that time picking better clothes. I try not to care too much about blending in, but these kids already look at me like I'm candy handed out by strangers. The package seems fine, but you know something's fishy in there. Judging from their whispers, I could figure out that they didn't know Wayride even accepted transfers. It's been less than 24 hours since I moved to Rosen Peak, and I already enjoy sitting alone in my dorm room more than attempt to socialize with people who call me a city girl. Well, you too, hillbillies. Besides, I decided not to force myself into making friends after all my old friends decided to turn on me. I just hope these guys leave me alone at least. Keeping a diary sure can help keep things together in all the chaos. I haven't kept a diary since kindergarten, but this seems like a good time to restart. Kudos to Mom for giving me the advice. Oh shoot, almost forgot calling her. Write you later, diary. My only true friend. Love, Sam. Oh, that's kind of sad. I wish I could sneak into people's minds, look beyond their eyes just by staring. If I had that power, I would never stop looking through B's window. That's creepy. I don't like that. Will B remember the moment he came into my life? For me, it is as clear as the moment he left. So clear that the downfall of our relationship still cuts deep into my heart. I don't know if I like the implications, but alright. Yeah. Life in Rosen Peak was a jar filled with bittersweet candies. Not exactly tasteful, but I learned to enjoy it. Nevertheless, it's where my... Can you stop? I'm about to just turn you off if you're gonna keep being a pill, alright? Nevertheless, it's where my heart lies. Also, I did see it change. Ah, there we go. I wrote a poem in B's memory. He used to struggle with Miss Lasley's poetry practices, even if he didn't have to try that hard. Miss Lasley always told us, poetry is not about using your fancy words. Let your feelings do all the work. Well, this is how I feel. What? All these squeaks, bro. I just want to read the poetry. I stand at his doorstep, heart filled with desire. He rushes down the stairs, heart red like fire. But before his spirit can soar, first must answer the door. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. No. Who? What do you want? Hello? Hate that. All right, well, enjoy being out there in the ether. I'm gonna just go back to my desk to continue my perfectly normal reading that is not in any way stressful, and you're gonna f*** off over there. Cool? Uncool. I just noticed there's drawers. Desk. Anyways, sorry. See, this is why I never get anything accomplished. I get all riled up, and then I'm just like, oh, I don't want to play anymore. I'm scared. All right, new note. August 22nd, 2006. Stacy is a classic. FYI, she's the one who talked about my favorite vintage shirt. It's like she jumped straight out of a cheesy teen drama. Blonde, hot, always talking, and a cheerleader. She even has a beefy jock for a boyfriend. I didn't want to start talking about someone already, but how could I resist? Every time I get in Stacy's view, triggered an obvious backbite. I'm seriously starting to think she's under a curse that kills her if she stopped talking about someone else. I'm Stacy, I'm pretty. Wow. Adorable. Sadly, coping with her wasn't the hardest part of the day. Mom called again. As far as she knows, it's just rainbows and butterflies here in Rosen Peak. I can still remember the complicated face she made when I told her that my application was accepted by Waywright. None of us were expecting them to approve a transfer request of an 11th grader. Even if she told me she understands my need to move out of the city, I felt really guilty for leaving her alone. You already used up your last runaway chance, Sam. Get yourself together. If not for you, for Mom. Oof. Hey. No, don't hate me, man. I hate it. I hate it. Get it? Yeah, you get it. You get it. I know. I too am groaning at myself. Other Waywright kids were so predictable. Their doors were already open before I even put my hand on the doorknob. But B's door was always closed shut and so beautifully painted. Everyone liked him, but couldn't get him to open up. I knew there was something more behind that pretty paint. Something behind his bright smile. That is a really distressing drawing. On the other hand, being able to hang out with him was a good enough blessing for me. Enough to make me want to never leave his side. Never, ever. All right. Where I already smell the bull that's about to be happening. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, this is great. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Listen here,